Well, tonight, new images of the plane crash in Denver over the weekend and new stories from the survivors reveal just how miraculous it was that no one was killed. 5 people are still hospitalized, including the pilot. NTSB investigators have converged on the scene and are now getting a close look at the debris. NBC's Tom Costello reports.
In Denver today, an up-close look at the broken and burned remains of Continental Flight 1404. The right side of the plane charred by an intense fire that everyone escaped. The landing gear and left engine ripped from the fuselage, with pieces of the plane scattered across the field.
Our investigators are documenting the configuration of the aircraft. How are the flaps and slats set?
Meanwhile, in Washington, investigators say they recovered good data from the soot-covered cockpit voice and flight data recorders. So what happened? The 737 was about 1,000 feet into its takeoff roll on runway 34 right when the crew seemed to lose control, perhaps hit with a strong crosswind, then slid off the runway across a snowy field and into a ravine. On board, Mike Wilson, who also survived a private plane crash 5 years ago.
Panels were flying down from the ceiling. I think oxygen masks deployed in some sections. And I think that's about when the fire on the right engine started.
As terrified, screaming passengers escaped the plane, Wilson emailed a Twitter text message. "I was just in a plane crash," he wrote. "My glasses fell off in the mass exodus getting off the plane. Can't see very well." Getting out of a burning plane often comes down to decisions and luck, as we saw firsthand at the FAA Training Center in Oklahoma City. The key to survival may well be to stay low. If you peek your head up too high, you could get it into a toxic cloud and die. If you go too low, you could be trampled over as other passengers rush to get out. Back in Denver, where everyone managed to escape, investigators insist they're looking at everything: wind, engine performance, control and flap settings, brakes, and landing gear.
Almost every accident these days is a combination of circumstances where you're looking at multiple things that just happen in the wrong order at the wrong time.
And still a long way from pinpointing a cause. Tom Costello, NBC News, Washington.